welcome to the Old Man Orange podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan, and today we have a special guest.
Kevin, introduce yourself.
Hey, so I didn't know it was my cue. Hey guys, how are you?
Doing good. Thanks for coming on, man. We've been trying. There was a little bit of glad we could get you on the show. You reached out to me, and I looked you up on your show, Comics Watching Comics, and I got really invested in it.
You did. Do tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just found it very interesting because I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy, and it's one of those things where I'm just used to watching all these fine-tuned comedians come in. I very rarely ever go to open mic or anything like that, just because it's kind of out of the way for me. So it's kind of interesting seeing all these new people come in and try it. And I know comics, Last Comic Standing is a thing. Never really seen that show. But I was watching your show and just seeing how green a lot of people are, and then seeing you guys critique them, and the aspect of like someone may not be a good stand-up comedian, but they might be a good performer, or maybe a good writer, but not a good stand-up comedian, something to that effect. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was, after a while, it's a fun show to watch, but there are some ones where you just kind of cringe, and you don't want to judge the guy too hard, but you're like, oh, God, that's really rough, dude.
Yeah, you pretty much got it. I got the idea. I mean, Last Comic Standing, I think, is weak. All it was a bunch of ass kissing with the panelists, except for Norm Macdonald, and it was no one was really honest. Like, you're sitting here going, dude, that was mediocre at best. And I get it. Look, people are not allowed to curse or be anywhere near like racy or dirty or anything like that at all on Last Comic Standing. But Jesus, I just thought a lot of those performances were pretty bland. I was like, well, let's take two things here at once. There are a lot, and by the way, I'm in New York City, it's the best city for comedy. Period. I'm not going to hear any other arguments otherwise. But no, it's just there's so many even just intermediate comics who are not getting a shake because there are so many people here. The best of the best is here. So it's just for them just to get just some kind of accolades. I thought, well, let's try to do two things at once. Actually, three, by showing the general public what comedians go through, how we talk, how we act. We watch other comics. We're the biggest ball busters in the world. It's kind of really opening the door on our life and showing us, what's it about, and especially when people go, oh, you're a comic? Oh, it's not me a joke, which is majorly fucking annoying and horrible. I hope you can curse on this podcast because I just let it out.
Oh yeah, fucking fly. A right.
Beautiful. So don't ever ask someone to tell you a joke. That's horrible. And it's also all the same lines, like, oh, you're a comic? Well, why don't you go on like Letterman? Like, yeah, no fucking shit, asshole. Like, that's kind of, First of all, Letterman's a bad example because he quit about 3 years ago. Secondly, you just when you talk to somebody like, oh yeah, well, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm in marketing. Oh, okay, marketer. Why don't you go make me a fucking PowerPoint? Or you know what? Why don't you be the CEO? Like, it's that kind of level. You have to explain to people like shit just doesn't happen like that.
They get to the point where they're like, come on, dance, monkey, dance.
Yeah, and that's when you tell them to go fuck themselves. At least I do. I actually know a lot of other people do that too.
Oh yeah, you gotta.
It's just I'm not on the clock. You're not paying me, so that's not going to happen.
I think Hannibal Buress had a great joke where it's just like, if you're so funny, tell me a joke. And he's all like, at some point he says like, he's talking to some girl, and I think she says something like, nah, I don't work that way. She's like, if you tell me a joke, I'll show you my tits. My jokes are better than your tits.
Well, see, what I liked about the Comics Watching Comics thing is I like the casual approach it has too. It just doesn't feel, because a lot of times when you watch a show, especially if it comes on like Comedy Central or something like that, it just feels almost so overly produced. You're like, you already just feels
very glossy.
It's not real. This one it's like everybody's sitting on the couch having a good time, like they're hanging out, literally watching a stand-up special on their big screen TV together in a group, not separately, in the same room, and then just commenting on it. Because, that's like what you sort of do when you got your buddies together, whether it be you're watching a movie, watching a special, even watching like cartoons or something like that. You could kind of say your commentary, and I like how it has like the back and forth approach where it's like, okay, they let the bit go on, and then it's like, okay, well, it's like almost like, what'd you think about that bit?
Yeah, exactly. I like that. Yeah, it's definitely not overly produced by any stretch, and that's what it is. It's more of a bunch of people sitting here, going over shit and busting balls in the process, which really is something that we do a ton, and I want to make sure that that's always part of the show.
Mhm.
Our ball, busting each other's balls, not just comics balls or whatever, but yeah, there's a ton of ball busting on this show.
Gotta have that.
That's oh yeah.
I'll say when I first started watching the show, I was a little nervous because I know that it's one of those things where I was hoping it wasn't gonna be those shows where everyone's way too hard on the people performing, because I'm just like, oh, just please don't be like, I didn't know what the show was gonna be at first. Then watch like, oh no, you guys are all really pretty fair about it. I mean, you'll bust balls a little bit, but I mean, they're trained to be stand-up comedians, so they got to be prepared for that anyway. Like, I remember there's the one guy who went up there, and I felt bad for the guy. He was bald. I think you guys called him like King Kong, like Gazy or something like that. And he just was.
Yeah.
He was trying to.
Which seasons did you watch, so I know who you're talking about? Sometimes
I kind of was watching them randomly. I was like cherry picking through random episodes. I watched the first episode. I watched one or two from like seasons 2 and 3, and then I think I watched most of season 4. And the one I saw the most of, it's when you had Shane Lynch on.
Sean Lynch, yeah.
Sean Lynch. Did I say Shane Lynch? Sean Lynch, yeah. Sean Lynch, Amy Shanker, and then the guy, I forget the other gentleman there. And then there's the guy who's the veteran guy with the long hair, said he opened for Dice Clay.
Yeah, Jeffrey Gurian. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that there are some things that kind of that pointed out that, like, you get the comedians that, like, they go up there. Like, there's the one guy who went up there who just seemed kind of nervous from the get-go, and then he was almost kind of like you said. It almost seems like there's a terrorist off stage pointing a gun at him. It's like, say jokes now, say dick jokes, and the guy's like, come on guys, laugh. Like, oh shit.
Was that Michael Lancer? I forgot. Was that him? Does that look familiar? The guy with glasses, fat guy?
That might have been him, and I'm not trying to single anybody out because they might listen to this show like, fuck that guy. But I'm saying that shit.
Buddy, I got news for you. It's been on Amazon, and you already know how well you did. So this is nothing like we're outing him for something, whatever. So it's okay.
Yeah.
If we're going to point somebody out.
Yeah, but no, just a lot of them, because there's certain people I remember watching on there. I was just like, okay, I kind of see what they're saying. Like, there'd be something like, yeah, their jokes aren't that great, but they got some kind of weird, like, some kind of thing about them that makes them stand out. And I think you guys nailed it on the head with a lot of the stuff of like, oh, just give them some time, and I think they could really improve and become better. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Look, the idea of the show is to have fun and obviously help comics and intermediate comics, get better. I mean, yeah, the ball busting. We're not here to specifically take them down like some people thought initially. I think maybe in the first season or even 2, that's maybe the tone kind of gave that off. I think especially by 3 and definitely by season 4, we were masters. I figured out the tone and the way to go and took that whole argument away from people, saying that they thought it was just we were just there as a hatchet job, which we're definitely not. Like, we're comedians. We want to see comedy succeed and do well, but, and also, hey, look, we're going to tell you how it is. Some people are great, some people are all right, and some people are fucking terrible and need to stop.
Well, that's what I liked about it. The format of it felt like it was still had like a positive vibe. It wasn't just like, let's go kick all these guys in the dick while they're up on stage. It's like, no, we're looking at this like reasonable guys just kind of like almost like helping out the craft, if anything, And yeah, when something's good, we're going to point out what's good. If something's okay, we'll point out what's okay. And if it's not that great, well, we're just going to say it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people just don't do that. They'll just like, oh, yeah, it was fine. Oh, yeah, good set. No, it's like, all right, well, look, here's how we can help you or tweak or whatever. But again, I think the most important thing is just really showing the public like what it's like. When you walk in, you sit down and, and you have to drink 2 overpriced cocktails that are fucking, house blend vodka.
They're more expensive than the tickets you pay to get in.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you're just showing up. It's kind of like you're seeing like the making of a film. It's like, instead of just going there dropping $15 to the new Avengers, we're taking you behind the scenes of the filming of the Avengers and the script revisions and all that. And that's what we're doing here with comedy.
Well, Kevin, I was just say, if you say something one
ahead.
more, Ryan, then I'll bring mine up.
I was going to ask, since the shows got started, have you ever had any comedians that you guys just ripped apart, kind of come back at you guys like, hey, man, what the fuck? I did my best. Or are they all just, hey, just thanks for the chance, or a little bit of both?
Come back. So what happens is this. I invite every single person who's ever appeared on the show to do an answer back video. Only a handful of people have taken me up on that offer. And you can go check out those videos on the YouTube page that we have on Comixology Comics. But no one has come out like directly and said like, fuck you, or come to my face and said that, if that's what you're asking. Most comics are pussies, and they're not gonna, they'll just they'll talk shit behind my back, or they'll say something to a friend, and I'll sometimes find out about it. But most of the time, it's, I'll hear about it again secondhand, if at all. But most people look, and I say before, and I tell them when you first, apply to be on the show, this show is like a casino. Some of you are going to win, some of you are going to break even, and some of you are going to fucking lose. Now, when you go to a casino, if you lose, do you go cry at a house if you drop $1,000 at the blackjack table? No, you don't. You say, that had a good time hanging out tonight. You might get a little pissed. You're like, oh shit, lost $1,000, but you move on. Same thing here. This is a gamble. We're not here to, again, what you put out there is on you. All I do is I give you a blank canvas to do whatever you want. You can go out there and make a Chagall or a Monet, or you can go out there and take a big steaming dump on it. That's up to you, but there are consequences to everything you do in life, as well as, of course, this show.
And I think that's just the perfect attitude to have, because that's just what you got to do. It's like, I don't know, I've just learned in just making things in general is that you can't take anything too personal, and you just keep making stuff. That's the thing. It's like, maybe one thing doesn't work out perfectly. You learn more stuff by the thing that doesn't work out perfectly than you do by the thing that does do better. So you just keep adding to it, and as the time goes on, it's a stack, and it's a process, and, you own your craft as far as it goes, and that's just how you get better. Some of the people, I feel like, and you see this a lot in real life, they go up once, they try out and they go, oh, it didn't work out, I guess it's just not for me. And it's like, no, you just didn't put your time in yet, and you haven't really got into it.
Yeah, I mean, again, this show is for intermediate comics. It's not for those people who are brand spanking new. And I have a requirement for people who apply. You need to be on the show you need to be in comedy for at least 3 years, because you're going to have at least 5 minutes, and that's all and that's exactly how much time you do at each taping. Mm-hmm. You do 5 minutes. So by that point, you've got at least 5 minutes set up where you can go up there and not suck. You can be pretty,
Yeah, you
decent.
got an idea what you're doing at this point.
Exactly. So that way, I give everyone the best chance to succeed as possible. It's not by any means a gotcha show like, some of those
No,
ones out
I
there.
think it's a real good opportunity for these guys, in their kind of intermediate stage to really almost just, because at that point, you want to get on as many platforms as you possibly can. It's that key thing of nowadays that, you got to get your name out there as many times as possible. And this is, I think, a perfect way to kind of have it up there. And as long as you can kind of take like the comedy of it, almost like people laughing at you, whether you're doing something really funny or whether you're doing something just goofy, and just being able to accept that's what I feel would make the strongest comedian, is the person be like, I don't, whatever, I'll just accept whatever happens.
I'll tell you a story, though, that kind of ties in your original question. I did have somebody reach out to me and ask that their episode be taken off YouTube, which is where the show first started on before it got to Amazon. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. You signed a waiver. You knew what you were in for. Oh, I forgot. And, I forgot about the show. I'm like, too bad. That's not my problem,
Hey.
So come on, help me out. I'm like, nope. And then what this person did was they try to go on and contact YouTube and go, this has been, I'm on here without my permission. I want this taken off for the privacy violation thing. And YouTube contacted me and go, all right, let's try this again. Guess what? This person signed off. Here is their form, their waiver they have signed off, and they're just mad that they had a shitty go at it. And YouTube saw that and goes, okay, guess what? Everything's good to go, sir. You can stay on. You can stay on the air. So they were not pleased with that at all. But fuck them. That's what you get for trying to get cute with me, because I'll bury you if you're
well,
if
it's
you're
just
wrong.
one of those ones. It's like
Just gotta roll
that's
those
like
dice.
the wrong approach. Obviously, if you want to be in any type of entertainment, you gotta just kind of go with those punches and not let fucking people just kind of go like, oh, I want everything to be perfect. If they see something that was bad, it's like, dude, nobody's gonna fucking care. And if anything, that's gonna be cool in the long run. Be like, dude, check it out. Like, here's this guy who now is famous. Not saying that wherever this person is at the moment, but look at here's them fucking like doing crap early on. Like, you know what I mean? People like that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
always...
you're right. 100%. You're 100% right. I also give on the live show. So that's what the comics we vote at the end of every season get. They get a spot on the showcase, which we did at Gotham Comedy Club last November, which you'll see it on Amazon in the next hopefully month, because season 6 should be up shortly as soon as we get all the technical glitches fixed with Amazon. They're very, very. Oh boy, that's a whole story. Anyway. So yeah, but we also do, it's called Redemption Section, where I gave 4 people who really ate it on previous episodes or seasons another shot. They came into the live show, they each did a minute, and the crowd voted via applause on the person they liked the most doing that minute at the live show. And then the winner of that got a spot that night at the live show as kind of, and I call as redemption, after, like I said, they had eaten it on previous
See, that's pretty cool right there, all in all. You know what I mean? It's like, here, you get a second chance. Why not? You know? And it's like, you can almost just tell, like, who's, like, got the strongest character. It's like, if they take that or they don't take it. If they don't take it, then they're frail and they can't really handle themselves. But if they take that and say, yeah, fuck it, I messed up, I'll do it again. Why not? I'll go back out there.
Well, you forgot one key ingredient. Comics insecurity is off the fucking charts. Most are very... I hate to say it, but the millennial bullshit of them just being whiny and sensitive, and they've never been told no or faced adversity, and they some of them don't have that level of maturity to be able to move forward from something like that, where they were to get a bad review, let's say.
Yeah, and I notice that all the time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be just comics, but just people, anybody, people that make movies, people that do comic books, people that write books, and so on. It's just a lot of people just can't handle that. And I don't know. I felt early on, both me and Ryan, once you put your stuff up on YouTube and Newgrounds and stuff from the early days and so on, you're bound to get all these like hateful messages at some point. It's the inevitable, and it's whether if you can take that and go like, just like almost laugh and go, huh, you watched my video, I don't care what you say past that point. Or if you can just go, man, can you believe that person actually wrote that? And then like just lose sleep over it. It's just like, dude, who cares? I mean, you just keep going on. Go with it.
Yeah, but I mean, comics are a lot of them are especially very thin-skinned. Very notorious for that.
Regarding the, you said something about the whole like millennial thing, which I kind of see what you're saying in some aspects. I know that that's kind of a thing because I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan, and I hear him and Bill Burr, and I hear them talk about that, like in Los Angeles. It's kind of like very sensitive, like PC comics. Is that still a thing, even in New York? I thought that was more of like a West Coast thing, probably.
Definitely not. It's very, very prevalent in New York, especially amongst the alt scene. There are a lot of people who get the trigger words, who get tight ass if you say something that they don't agree with, or especially if you're not anti-Trump. A lot of these guys love to use Trump as a punchline without any jokes. It's pretty bad, but especially, like I said, a lot of sensitivity. You can't say things that are mean, rude, racial, not racist. People love the dick and fart jokes sometimes. That don't fly, but a lot of people are against misogyny and whatnot, and it depends on some things can be overly misogynistic. Of course, I see that. I think some people are overly sensitive and love to label things misogynistic when they're not. It's just simple ball busting, and so on and so forth. I think people love I think a lot of comics as well try and prove how progressive they are by going on the witch hunts, and proving how they are by going out and throwing people. I hate this saying, but throwing people under the bus and saying, "Oh, look at me! This person's an asshole. Here's why I'm better than they are. They say this, but I don't say that." The blowhardiness gets in a way. Believe me.
Or you go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, go ahead. I can't take too because I know a couple of stand-up comedians over here, and they're not huge or anything, but I know a few of them that are nice people, but they're very, very like whenever I see them on Facebook or Twitter, they're blaring some kind of like, something from Now This or BuzzFeed, some very, very, I mean, I'm a left-leaning person, but I mean that super far left shit. Like marijuana is an offensive word. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like that kind of shit. So whenever I see that, I'm like, how can you really still be a stand comedian if this is your stance? Because it seems like satire goes over a lot of these fuckers' heads.
It does. One of my buddies actually put on Facebook, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. The left has become what the right was back in the 90s. And by that, he backed up by saying the right was all about banning rap music and, you can't say this, you can't say that, and now that's what the left.
I know, and that's like the thing that almost
it is. It's kind of weird.
I get farther and farther away from the left, or at least the radical left, just because of that whole reason. It's just like it's fucking annoying, and it's just the thing that like you can't say certain words. Like this is, I feel it's a fucking word. If you didn't even know the language, you wouldn't even know what it meant. It only means something because you emotionally take it in that way. If you let it kind of just be like in context. It just, take it as is, or like, even just entertainment in general. It's like, it's supposed to be kind of like a little bit over the top. And I feel like people almost kind of forget about the over the topness and they take it like this guy's up there like as like a president giving a speech. And it's like, no, that's not what it is. He's not saying this like 100% serious, having fun with it. And I don't know, I almost just feel like a lot of people miss out on the fun, and it's hard, I mean, and here's the thing, I think, at the end of the day, 80% of the people probably still get the fun part. It's just those 20% of people, or whatever you want to say, are the ones that are just speaking out real loud about being little bitches about everything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's fucking sad is what it is. It really is. There's a whole movement trying to stop it as well as trying to continue that kind of thinking, which... Again, as the old saying goes, if you don't like a show on TV, what do? You change the channel. You don't have to sit there and complain and write. The problem, though, is with the internet, this is my own little saying, so I'm taking credit for this. The internet has allowed people to no longer have to write a letter to the editor. Whereas opposed, if you really felt strongly about something, if you hated something, you just stop, write a letter, physically write a letter, put a stamp on an envelope, mail your thoughts to an editor of a newspaper, and hope to God they publish it. Now it's just... people with the dumbest thoughts in the world, they just whip out their phone and type it out and boom, it's out there. Now it makes dumb people have access to a larger forum a lot easier than
and here's some of the letter kind of philosophy. A lot of people probably got about halfway in their letter and go like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, literally, this is stupid. This should not bother me. Where, when you can whip it out on your phone, it's too quick. You don't have enough time to even think about it now, Yeah.
That's what annoys me when they like, we demand an apology. Like, okay,
no,
so
that's the biggest waste of time because everyone knows you don't really mean it. You're forced to do it. You got caught, and if you had to, because of whatever reasons, no one's going to take that apology for what it really is. It's I'm sorry.
Just the idea of that, like, I demand you write an apology, and someone actually goes on a talk show, apologizes, or writes a letter, or does whatever.
Yeah,
no one's going to let him back in after that.
Never apologize. This is useless. Like, no. Because you apologize, does that mean it's going to stop how you really feel about something? No, it's not. It's not going to anything at all. And it's just it's just fake outrage. Again, something else that's kind of permeating through the community. But then again, there are people like me and others who are like, no, we're not buying that bullshit. Sorry. Doesn't apply here.
Yeah, and I think that's actually, in the end of the day, I think that's still the majority. I think just a lot of times it's maybe, like, it's always a thing, it's maybe not as loud as everybody else, but I think overall most people still can kind of handle things a little bit better than a lot. It's just there's a handful of bad apples that always have to ruin it for everybody and so on. But, what can you do? I mean, they're going to be there, you just kind of got to go, fuck them, we'll just do our thing, and, and hopefully at some point that maybe that phase, it'll be like a phase like anything else over the decades that will just kind of go away for a bit, and then, it'll come back again, but,
Yeah, hopefully not.
Exactly, we can hope, but, Kevin, well, how would you take us back in time? How would you get into comedy originally?
I went to an open mic March 12th, 2010. That's pretty much the same answer a lot of people are going to give you.
Okay, but before that, that's starting comedy, but what got you interested in doing comedy early on? Childhood, teenhood.
Childhood, I would say, look, I'll give you two answers for that one question. The obvious, every comic's going to have the same one of, Oh, you know what? I watched a ton of comedy growing up. I watched Eddie Murphy Raw. It was probably one of the Dennis Leary's No Cure for Cancer. A lot of Rodney Dangerfield, all that. And of course, you've always, everyone's been told that most comics, oh, you know what? You're the class clown. You've always been the funny guy in the group of your friends. That kind of thing. I started late. I started when I was 33 because I'm sick. I still am in corporate America, but I'm hoping this might take it out of corporate America. So that's what it came down to. I just got so sick one day. I'm like, what the fuck? People wake up every day. They're like zombies on the subway. This is not the way to go through life, is getting fucked up by corporate America. You're scratching and clawing for a 5% raise. They reduce your actually raise your insurance costs. There's no loyalty. They demand loyalty, but the minute the CEO makes 50 cents less on his bonus, people are fired. Yeah. So it's just, why am I living life like that? Why do I give a shit? Why do I want to work so hard to make other people money that in the long run are going to fuck me? So going through this whole long, journey, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's give comedy a shot. I've always wanted to try it, just to see what's up. And what got me over the edge was I saw, you guys ever see the film Up in the Air with George Clooney?
Yeah.
Love it. The steamer fires J. Jonah Jameson, the teacher from Whiplash.
Name. Spider-Man. J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, J. Simmons. Yeah, J. Simmons. He fires him, right? So then right when he fires him, he pulls a picture of his kids out, J.K. Simmons. He goes, what am I supposed to tell them? And Clooney looks that down and he goes, well, it says here that, you were in college, you minored as majored in cuisine. You got a job being a pastry chef when you graduated, and the line that just shot a bolt of lightning up my asshole was this. He goes, tell me this. How much did they pay you to give up on your dream? And I go, holy shit. That was the moment I go, yep, we're going to do this. And that's been the case since then.
That's a really good scene and a good movie.
Excellent. Oh, love it. It's a fantastic film. Book is very good, too.
I'll have to check that one out. I haven't read the book before. But that's a cool way to kind of go about, though. It's just almost the thing. It's just like, you know what? Just have like a kind of change in life. You know what? Fuck the regular thing. I'm going to try this comedy thing and just give it a go. And I always feel that's almost like the thing that like stops a lot of people. Because, everybody knows there's, you got those handful of friends or, just associates that they're like, this guy's got some talent, but they're just not going to, but they just haven't tried yet. They haven't put forth the effort. And it's just the thing to do is just to say, it's just like, fuck it, just do it. Why not? Like, what's the worst that's really going to happen? You live in America. What's the worst that's going to happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I see people all the time going up and eating shit on stage. So it's, one of my best friends is so fucking funny, but he's scared to death to go on stage. Like, he's just mortified of talking in front of people, more, of a larger group of people. He would be amazing as a comedian, and he's been told that 8 zillion times. It's, by me, by family, by everybody. But it's really not for everybody. The lifestyle is insane. The money is dog shit. I mean, people, you're fighting for a lottery ticket, and the lottery ticket isn't even a guarantee that you're going to make it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know people who've been in it for I don't know, I've been in it for 8 years, but I'm not really at full time as other people are. But I will say people who are making a living out of this, as in that's what their W-2 says, comedian. They're making like 20, 30 grand a year. Fuck out of here. I was making, I was making a little more than that my first job out of college, and boy, did that suck making that little money. Yeah, you're love, but man, the fucking grind sometimes is a lot. That's what causes people to wash out. I really think, again, everyone's path is different. That's what I've learned in my journeys, but I really think that you're not doing yourself a favor if you don't have more than one tool in your box besides just stand-up comedy.
Oh, yeah, and I think that's definitely the case, too. It's just like, especially this day and age, it's easy to learn other things, so it's like that's never an excuse to kind of like not do it. I mean,
yeah, but are you good at them, though? That's going to be the thing, though, is getting paid for doing those other things that you may be good at.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's not, a lot of times you just got to put that effort in to, like, kind of get in there. I always say, like, there's people that will tell you in life, they'll be like, oh, well, I can't draw, or I can't do this. And it's like, dude, it's not that you can't draw, it's that you didn't put the time in yet. You know what I mean? You got to put that effort in, just like anything else, and you can get better. You can pretty much accomplish anything you set your mind to, fucking Back to the Future style, as long as you're willing to do it,
Yeah, I can't draw, and I try to draw, and I can't. So I think that doesn't work. There's people who are naturally good at comedy, but mostly though you'll see comedians very lazy. Some are, a good amount are. B, expect things to be handed to them. I don't know. That's again back to the millennial thing, but that's very rampant. It's like, oh, I'm a comedian now. I get my Netflix special, right? No, not even fucking close. As well as B, being bad business people. It's amazing how much money or bad business decisions people make in this industry. Honestly, it's pretty fucking sad. It's very depressing. If you talk to some of these people who've been in it for 20, 30, 40 years, and you're like, God damn, this is all you have to show for this?
And they said this same 40-minute set.
Yeah, there's an example right there. Back to laziness. People just fly in that same set and go, why the fuck am I not getting booked? I'll tell you right now, you're not getting booked. You're doing the same fucking act since 1994.
This Monica Lewinsky bit's not clicking in. What's wrong?
Well, it's just like one of the ones.
True.
A lot of people they just don't have that thing where they want to hustle and learn. I notice that's almost like the problem I notice of a lot of people is this the unwillingness to learn. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's like you got to keep learning. It doesn't matter how old you get. Doesn't matter how good you think you are. There's always new shit to learn. You know what I mean? It's like one's like, yeah, maybe you're good at comedy. Well, fuck, learn the business part now. Learn some other trades of it. Take it to the next level. Try other avenues. Just keep learning. But that's not the most common thing for people to do. I don't know. People just have this thing where they just want to get as far away from the learning process as possible. Sometimes I always kind of attribute that to almost like public education and schooling, as I feel like that almost makes people, by the time people finish their schooling, they want to be the farthest away from learning, which is kind of sad at the end of the day, because it doesn't matter what you do in life, you got to keep learning.
Right on.
Since you've definitely probably been on the road a lot, I always hear stories about just certain comedy play. I can't even talk today. Certain venues where the guy is shady as fuck, and they always try to oh, we're doing you a favor, or we're doing this for you, we're doing that for you. I read it in Patton Oswalt's book. He had a whole chapter on it. Joe Rogan talks about that a lot. What's some usual traits to look out for that for upcoming comedians?
Traits. Boy, word of mouth is the best thing you could do, especially with Facebook now. All you have to do is go, hey, I offered a gig out, blah, 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 and so-and-so's a booker. What do you know about this guy? I will say this. Your reputation, a good reputation takes a little bit to build up. A bad reputation takes a fucking second to completely just take the tits out of you. Mm. So I would ask, look, money, saying, oh, you know what, I had a rough one, light crowd, blah, blah, blah. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem, asshole. I've headline for the guy goes, oh, yeah, you know what? You only fucking share this on your Facebook wall once. Oh, yeah? Well, I'm not the fucking promoter. It's your job, not mine. Got fucked out of money that way. I didn't know better, but, you learn by getting burned, that's for sure. So, I would obviously, I would just ask others, hey, what do you know about this person? If they're a piece of shit, you don't take the gig.
Yeah, that probably seems like the nicest thing about nowadays, is just being able to have that word of mouth where, 10, 15 plus years ago, that would never have been there.
It is. It's just not readily as known because it gets on Facebook. You got 10, 20 years ago, or even 30, well, I guess 30 really, you would know so-and-so in Cleveland, motherfucker, don't work that club, man. He's going to fuck you out of half your money.
Who would tell you that? I guess that's what you'd have to hear it through total word of mouth, not just hey, let's look this up online.
Right.
But, you go ahead, Ryan.
Regarding, good. Now I was going to actually say, regarding, I imagine there's also, you can't always use the same material depending on what town you're in. Okay, this town, just to make a rough example here. Well, this town's got a lot of red hats, so probably can't throw any Trump jokes out here. So how much of that often plays into a factor when you're on the road? Just okay, this is not going to work in this part of town or whatever.
I don't do Trump jokes. That's not a problem for me.
Not Trump jokes exactly, but just, I guess, different for that demographic or whatever.
Honestly, you find out people outside of the cities like that are the best crowds because they don't have any pretentious bullshit about them. They don't have any hang-ups. They're not going out to a club to get offended. Like if you're in comedy, you'll be like, yep, I know what he's talking about. Maybe since you're not, you're like, what the fuck? But a lot of when you get out of these cities, a lot of these again pretentious, like uber, especially uber to top, uber liberals are just like, yeah, man. They just come out and look to blog, you know. So the only thing I would say is, well, but since you gave the example of the red hats, I would say you can't go out and make fucking church jokes. You do that, you'll be taking at least 10, 15 minutes to dig yourself out of a hole. Especially like, I mean, I'm an atheist, so if I go out and go, Jesus Christ, what a fake load of shit, I'll be either done or I'll be.
So you just gotta kind of read your audience almost like right beforehand. If for some reason you got material,
no, I can definitely see that.
Sketchy like that, I guess, depending on where you're at. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that kind of stuff. It's like just know where it is. You know, like, so
I know you're saying.
I know it's like that's always one of my favorite things to do is just test jokes out on people when you get like a new audience. You're like, let's see how this flies over on them. Like when it's like it doesn't make a difference. Like you're just entertaining, you know, just a small group of people because you know all the comedy we do, we just write it for animations and comic books and so on. But I feel like it's all in the comedy's like circle of stuff. You know, just different variations you can go about it.
It's a very easy way to figure it out. All you do is you start off with some your A material that's not going to ruffle feathers. Mm-hmm. Then when you've got them on your side, then roll the dice with some either new shit or shit that may be edgier, and then proceed from there. If you see their assholes tighten up, you know, who the fuck is? Oh, my buddy's calling me right now. Another comic. So you dial back.
You keep going. Why not? There.
And go, or if you see a bunch of nuns laughing at blowjob jokes, then fucking plow on.
Sometimes it's interesting just to see, like, not trying to offend, but just almost like testing people's, like, because, you know, Spencer and I, we talk to each other a certain way because we've known each other for years. But then you'll meet somebody like, okay, I'm friends with this guy. Don't know him as well as other people, but I'm just going to just test something here and just kind of throw some of our casual lingo on there for the fuck of it. I was talking to this one friend about Gran Torino and just, you know, oh, that's a really good movie, this and that. And then at some point, like, the thing that's so weird about that movie is it's a kind of a light drama, kind of comedic almost. And then the last 10 minutes, it takes a hard right turn to rape.
Well, that's what you can
then
judge somebody.
He pauses. He's like, Rapeville. I go, was that too much? Shit.
It depends on your environment. If you're out there and you're on stage and you say something, they get a little tight. You could bust their balls and be like, "Really? You guys got dressed up and then you come on out to hang out and you're gonna fucking make it go, oh, if someone says penis, like, really? If you make fun of them and call them out on their bullshit, a good chunk of the time they go, yeah, we're being a little fucking silly and pussy, like, you know." Right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is, though, just this generation of, like, that's offensive. You can't say that. You can't even joke about that. Like, I think you can joke about whatever, anything, as long as it's funny.
Exactly. And that's a lot of crowds
any of those kind of problems going on. And it's just one of the ones, like, a lot of times I always say it's like, really,
again, there's no pretentious bullshit of when they're trying to be more
terrible. You can only do
than their
bad
fucking
actions.
buddy sitting next to them.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's like...
Shit, what was it saying? Oh,
what the fuck was that? Race cars taking off.
Oh, that's my street. I live right by a road where people like to drag race out here.
Yo, you tell Vin Diesel to calm the fuck down. Tell Vin Diesel to calm the fuck down out there.
He's doing with his family right now. It's family day.
Yo, family. Are they all having Coronas and shit?
Coronas, barbecues, yeah. Ludicrous music. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, no. Regarding about changing your material for an audience, I thought Sean Lynch had a great joke when I think it was Sean Lynch who said it, when he was saying, like, yeah, I went out there and I was trying to be all punk rock. I was from New York, and I told the guy, like, don't tell him I'm from New York, and I dressed up like a cowboy and this and that. And then at the very end, he says he regretted it, but I just thought it was fucking hilarious. He's just like, and he's all doing all like this super panderous shit. Then at the end, he's just like, and that's when my black friend comes out and slaps his dick on the copy of New Yorker I'm reading. Like, I'm not made of stone. I just start sucking it off like that right there.
Wasn't that hilarious?
Just to totally troll the audience like that.
He's got such a wide spectrum of material. It's fucking great.
Well, Kevin, I also want to ask, I saw that on your website you also do a bunch of like voiceovers too, and that's something that I've kind of done for many a years. How do you like doing that part of it?
It's good, except when you have to go to auditions and sit there in the waiting room with other voiceover artists. They're a bunch of most of them are jerk offs. I do not like waiting in the waiting room. They really most of I shouldn't say that. Most are fine, but there's always one or two who think that they have to rehearse so loudly and gesticulate so wildly, like, asshole, go in the motherfucking hallway and do that. No one cares about your process. No one. You're doing it for show. You're being a fucking jerk off. Go outside. And God forbid if you ever have to share a waiting space with people who are like actors, because in the city there's a lot of actor places that share with voiceover, and they are just the most obnoxious people in the world.
Yeah, I've seen that my entire life too, just kind of, dealing with actors. It's like, and once again, it comes back to the thing, like, okay, 80% of people are probably decent. It's just the ones that are obnoxious and loud stand out so much that that's your take home of like the, wherever you're at.
Right.
You primarily mean like the people just doing voice actor sites where they go and just the like loudly for the whole waiting room to hear, like, okay, kind of like that kind of shit?
Or they're just reading this because you all get, you get the script in your hand and they're like, okay, go, and then you start like, if you whisper to yourself just to get the beats down, that's fine. I do that too. But when people are like, well, Jim, as a big fan of Meineke of Euler, Meineke player parts, it's really great how they all offer pricing like that. And they're just fucking, it's like, and they're waving their arms like they're trying to land a fucking 747. It's so obnoxious.
Well, it's like equivalent of somebody talking during the movie. You know what I mean? It's like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like, you got no fucking public decency here.
Right. No, again, actors think they're they're important like that. No, you're not. Like, comedians, like, hate everybody. It's funny. It's just like, oh, if I brought, like, 4 of my comic friends here, we would just sit there and just loudly shit at everybody and tear them to pieces. It's so funny.
Well, I always think it's funny because with actors, it's like, especially like the second that they ever figure out if like you're a filmmaker or something like that, they almost like cartwheel up to you, be like, oh my gosh, you so need me for your project. And it's like, no, I don't. I can fucking do all my own acting if need be. Like, I don't need you. Maybe if you're a nice enough person, I might call on you, but I don't need you. Don't think of yourself as being the most important thing. You're just an actor, just saying.
Yeah, actors. Aren't they funny? Especially when they think like, oh, I'm an actor. That's great. Have you written your own material? Probably not.
No. Have you ever created anything yourself? Just saying.
Yeah. Most of them don't. But that's why comedy is the hardest thing to do. First of all, you can't blend into a scene like, if you're on stage because you're by yourself. You know, improv acting, you can. Comedy, it's all your own shit out there and you're by yourself. No one else is out there to fucking bail you out.
Exactly. No, there's something to be said that makes it kind of just a completely different experience that I think translates well to almost anything. So it's almost like by being a comic first and foremost, when you go to do acting, do you think that transfers over real well? Like better than just being a regular actor?
Of course it does.
But so I know I see you kind of have a handful of that stuff as far as like that goes. Is that just more little side gig stuff with the voice acting thing? Do you ever care to do like cartoons or go to other places maybe and play some characters?
No, I've never worked on a character, so it's not really my wheelhouse. Then again, if someone would go, here's fucking $10,000 to do the voice of a fucking squirrel, sure, let's go.
Yeah, give me that squirrel. I'll be the new Slappy Squirrel. Why not?
Nut Job 3, why not? I'm already here.
But awesome, Kevin. What else do you got kind of planned in the works? I know you got the show going. I know you got some other stuff going. Of course, you're doing all your stand-up comedy and whatnot. But what's coming up real soon?
Oh, boy. I have a show we're going to be doing called Comix Watching Football. You guessed it. Comix Watching NFL games. We're going to pitch to the NFL.
It's like you guessed it. We're watching soccer.
No, we're straight. Thank you. Pass on that. Yuck. By the way, how funny is that? Every 4 years, everyone's going to try and be like, oh, we really do like soccer. When the World Cup starts, you're going to pretend to give a shit. No, we don't. We're Americans. We don't care about that.
That's what I always say. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of growing up as American. It's just like, I look at soccer and I just can't even get it. Like, I'll play a soccer video game and I get bored halfway into it. And if the video game can't hold my attention, it's like, how is the real sport even going to do it? It's like,
Remember one time we were playing like a Mega Man one. You're like, and you said to me like, if this game can't get me into it with Mega Man characters, how's the real thing gonna fucking do it?
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know what it is. It's just it. I've never been able to understand soccer. It's kind of like you. I see soccer. It's like I get it. Like if you're a couple of kids playing it like in the street, I get that. But it's kind of almost like when you're looking at TV. It's like you got hockey. That's soccer to the next level. It's got the exact same elements of probably why you like soccer, but there's gonna be people fighting. It's 3 times faster. It's like what more could you want?
I love when people say baseball's boring, but they'll say soccer is the best sport. Oh, soccer is the sport of the world. You know why it's the sport of the world? It's the fucking cheapest to play. All you need are a bunch of kids and a decomposed head of a dictator that they've just thrown out of office, and boom, you can play soccer.
You put up 2 rocks for your goal and you're set.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's so funny. What was my fucking point? Here's why the World Cup is horrible. Any tournament that ends in a tie, that can end in a tie, is bullshit. I mean, they're like, well, it goes like, well, no. NCAA, college basketball, football, playoffs, baseball, nothing ends in a fucking tie. You know, you can't. It's ridiculous. No,
yeah, it's like, what's that like? Oh, people got to get home. They got jobs to do. It's like, where did that even like initially come up with the tie?
Yeah, You cannot have a major tournament end in a tie. That's retarded.
Something I don't really get is because, like, maybe it's not as popular now, but I remember in the 90s, like, most of the people I knew, at least most kids my age, and myself, played soccer at some point in time. No one really gave a shit about it afterwards. So it's one of those things, like, I'm not sure if people still do, but I imagine it would just be a little bit more popular, just seeing once a bunch of kids grew up playing it, but now it's like, oh, yeah, that was then. We're done with that shit. Fuck it.
Right. Now I can hit a ball and make more money.
Well, that's how I feel. I feel soccer it's sort of like an initiation. As I said, for kids, it's like, why not? It's a simple enough game. You just tell them, like, okay, Billy, don't touch it with your hands. Kick the ball. There's the goal. What more do you need to know? You know what I mean? You don't got to buy them any pads or anything other than, like, shin guards or whatnot, I guess. But it's like it's simple for kids. I get that there. But yeah, when it kind of gets down later on, it's just like, I just don't know. It's like, what? I just can't get it. It's just something like one of those ones, like, I just don't get it. It's like one of those ones I go, maybe it's just the American in me, but it's just, I don't understand.
Yeah, there's nothing to get.
Yeah, it's a weird one there. You know what I mean? It's like, I get football. I get hockey. I get baseball, you know? Just about any other sport known to mankind, I kind of get.
Yeah, I mean, how do you tell me they have with extra time, which is their overtime, and it's pretty much at the mercy of a referee? It's not like, all right, we're gonna go to overtime because the score is tied. There's 15-minute periods in overtime for football and basketball. I forgot. I don't watch the NBA anymore. But there's a specified amount of time that you have to do whatever. Whereas in soccer, it's like, you know what? I feel like there's about 8 more minutes, but you don't know that until it's too late. And the guy blows the whistle, like, oh, what? You know, game over. What the fuck? You know.
Okay, everybody, pack up and get home. It's like,
yeah, I said, yeah, you know what? I got to take a shit. Overtime over.
Fuck, it's done. You get out of here. So, well, you got this new show coming. Is it already out or is it coming out?
No, it's coming out. We're taping our second sizzle reel for the NFL in a few weeks.
And is that coming out on Amazon as well?
No, it will be. We don't know where. First of all, if the NFL likes it, then we'll see what's up, but it will be on a major network.
Oh, that'll be sweet.
Oh, awesome. So that was just primarily just comedic commentary.
Yeah. What's that?
This is pretty much a comedic commentary on football.
We'll be doing live play-by-play. If what I think is going to happen, if it does happen, that's what it's going to be. So we'll see.
Sweet.
Well, see, that's a pretty cool idea too, because I can't think of anybody on TV that's doing something like that. I mean, there's probably got to be some YouTuber who does that, but just including that part, it's like, that's just kind of a cool idea for, it's like, you could watch, the game, or you could have some funny commentary to go along with it, almost like instead of just your normal commentary.
No, you can watch the game, but instead of having Joe Buck, suck the dick of the Dallas Cowboys, you can listen to us sit there and crack wise as we watch the same exact game. Yeah, we're not going to have the X's and O's like Aikman will, but we're going to be a shitload more funny, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's I feel. Just because you can have a little bit more raunchy feel. It's not like they're sitting there be like, oh, if I say something wrong,
actually, that's not true. That's not true. It cannot be raunchy at all because it's very NFL's got to be, because when we do this taping, the NFL guy has notes for us like, yeah, you can't say this, you can't make fun of advertisers. It's not like I can sit there and shit on Ray Lewis for killing people, which I would love to. But
sponsored by
can't.
Coke. Fuck Coke.
Yeah.
Avoid the whole kneeling with Kaepernick thing. Avoid that.
Well, I mean, I don't know how we can get away with that. But yeah, it's like, oh, Papa John's is garbage. I'd rather gnaw on a decomposing limb than eat that shit.
Yeah, so I guess you got that. It's like that kind of thing. But other than that, though, I mean, I guess at the same time, it's probably not, I mean, you're not being as nearly as like straight-laced, I guess, as the regular commentators.
No, not at all.
So that's just a cool idea just in itself, I think.
Thank you. Well, cross your fingers. Hopefully it hits,
Yeah. Hey, worst case scenario, if they don't accept it, then you can do whatever you want and put it up on YouTube. Until it's taken down.
Not really, because the NFL will go and shut that shit down and say copyright violation. So.
Well, you know what you could do, though? You do it just audio only, so that it almost, you have to play, and I know that's a little bit more complicated on the average Joe's part, but so it's almost like the olden days, like when someone would listen to the headphones, like at the sporting event, it would be like that, but you put your headphones on like it's a podcast and it's live as you're watching the game, or or whatever, you play it live with at your house.
Right.
There's always options. That's the key thing to think about.
True that.
But that's cool, though. I'm glad you got all kinds of projects going on. Gotta like that, whether or not it be comedy, whether it be the shows. I see you also got a podcast, too. Is that one where you do sports talk?
Yeah, Sportsbook Box Office Podcast. We're in a little bit of a hiatus. We have to find a new venue because the last producer is a piece of shit and unreliable. So yeah, we had a venue. We did it at a Broadway comedy club in the city, and the producer the engineer there was a piece of garbage because you just would never show up. And that was it.
Were you doing them live?
No, yeah, she was on Stitcher, and then we would tape it and then put up on iTunes and shit later on.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, that's that. But yeah, we'll be back hopefully soon. We were looking to do maybe like a watching comics podcast where we have like on panelists and guests and shit to really keep that brand going. What else is going on?
I'm looking forward to the new season for that.
Yeah, we just taped the All-Star panel about almost a month ago. That should be up in the summertime, where it's actually, I'll tell you that panel. It's Gino Visconti, it's me, it's Sean Lynch, and it's Richie Reddy from season 3.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, that'd be sweet. And when's that coming up?
Summertime.
Summertime. Oh, there we go. So all kinds of cool stuff to look forward to. I mean, gosh, you got your hands full in all kinds of different avenues. Gotta like that.
Yeah, we're gonna do maybe a live show at a huge event. Cross your fingers on that one too. Can't say yet because there's no contract signed yet, but we'll see. I'll tell you what though, it'd be something that'll hopefully get you on the map for sure. We'll see.
Well, watching comics seems like it's putting everything in the right direction right there. So definitely.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I think we are going in the right direction. It's funny when you do this, man. It's like, obviously, what do I know about this stuff? I'm trying to figure out things for myself and figure out what to do. And, it's just, there is no syllabus with this, with comedy, with anything. So it's always like you're running in the dark and hopefully you don't fall into a bed of spikes or a tiger pit.
Yeah, exactly. You don't get that Mortal Kombat fatality happening around the corner. But if you do whatever, you just restart the match and keep going.
Right.
Hopefully you get the Indiana Jones one with the penitent. No, what was it? The believe just gotta walk across the fucking thing or whatever.
The penitent man will pass.
The what? The penitent man. This is the penitent man leans and kneels. The penitent man kneels and then the pass.
Penitent man will pass was when he crossed the gap.
Yeah, that's right.
Throw the dust out on there.
The Last Crusade like the back of my hand, guys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna challenge you on that one.
Talking Indiana Jones there and everything like that. Well, Kevin, thanks for having you come on the show. It's real awesome getting to talk to you and just kind of hearing about comedy. Like, actually, I think you're the first comedian we've ever had on the show. We've had people that are like, I guess, not stand-up comedians, but like either animation comedians or so on. But you're the first stand-up dude.
They're not. Those aren't comedians.
Putting those guys down, huh? Putting us down to do us comedy the other way. But no, I feel
No. You're not a comic unless you go on stage in a club or a bar and you tell jokes there. Sorry. You may do comedic acting, that's for sure, but you're not a comedian.
What about a comedy writer?
If you write comedy, then you're a comedy writer. Like if you write scripts or whatever, and you make a sketch, you're a comedy writer, but you're not a comedian. Comedian is someone who goes on stage and tells jokes.
Oh, okay, I've always just referred to that as
Very,
stand-up.
very, very big difference. I'll tell you a very quick story. I did an acting thing, and it was me, and actually by luck, another comic I know was in the class. Like, oh, cool, someone else I know, and instead of all these, these actor dorks and whatnot. So we were in there, and they're like, the whole get to know you. Hey, what do you do? What do you, what's your story? And it's like, okay, and I go up and say I'm a comic, I do voiceover, da da da. Then a couple other people they go up and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a comedian too. And I'm like, no, you're not. Like, well, I do improv. Like, you're not a comic. Sorry. It's like, oh, I do acting. Like, nope, you're a comedic actor. You're not a comedian. Like, have you ever been on stage at a club or a bar or whatever? And done, nope. Okay, you're not a comic. Sorry. A lot of people are getting very liberal with that, and as you see, comics get very, very like territorial. Like, you're not a comic. Cut the shit.
Yeah, it's almost it's no different than musicians kind of getting picky about their genres and so on, and just getting it like, no, this is the genre we're going at. We're not. Don't shuffle us over in this other category here.
Well, that would be like me saying I play a rock band, therefore I'm a guitarist. No, I'm not.
Yeah, it's like, no.
I get that, because you got to take your lumps in order to be a comedian. So I get that.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, Kyle. Good man.
But cool, Kevin. Where can people find you as easy as possible? Give some shout outs.
KevinGootee.com. That's GOOTEE.com. Instagram, Twitter at the same. Comicswatchingcomics.com to get a T-shirt. All the information is there. Comics Watching on Twitter. So I couldn't fit all that on there. And Instagram, Comics Watching Comics, Facebook page, all that shit. Sportsbook Box Office Podcast on iTunes, Libsyn, all that cute shit. And that's it, pretty much.
Yeah, and then you can easily just search right into Amazon. It pops up right away too. So that's
right on Amazon Videos, Comics Watching Comics. You got it. Seasons 1 through 5 are on right now. Season 4 should be on hopefully within a week or so, maybe 2. But yeah, hopefully soon.
Well, awesome. Make sure everybody goes out and checks that out. There's some really funny, good stuff on there, and I just think it's just a
really great
idea.
show.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
It's
tell your friends and family to watch.
we will. We'll tell everybody. All our listeners, we'll let them know about it and stuff, and go check that out. Check out Kevin. Find him on any of those sites that he kind of mentioned, or easily go to his own site. And from there, on your own site, you got everything listed. So that's the best place.
I try, even though people say your social media game sucks. Which, what do you want? I'm busy.
As long as you got like a landing page and at least get you in the right direction, because there's some people out there that like you go to find them, it's like, dude, why can't I find you? You know what I mean? Like I'm typing your name in, I'm typing in your show. Why is it hard to find?
Well, maybe some people don't want to be found because they have corporate America gigs, which I can totally understand.
Then you can hide away alone, but till then. Till then, it's easy to find your stuff there. So, yeah, check Kevin out. And other than that, you can go to oldmanorange.com for more comics, podcasts, music, videos, and so on. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan, and our special guest,
Kevin Gootee, guy. Hey, thanks again for having me, guys. It was a fun chat. I enjoyed talking with you fellas.
Thanks for coming on, man.
No, absolutely. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Thanks again for listening to the Old Man Orange podcast. Be sure to check out oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, comics, animations, videos, and a whole lot more. You can easily support the show by buying something from one of our Amazon links on the website or in the show's description itself. Doesn't cost you a penny, but every single thing you buy from there just by using that link to take you to Amazon helps us out a bit. You can also really help the show out, though, by spreading the word the good old-fashioned way. And rate and review us on all the sites that you find this podcast. Anything from iTunes to Podbean to Newgrounds, YouTube, you name it. Any little bit helps. Give a sub and share it to your friends, family, any jamoke you see out on the street. You let them know about Old Man Orange podcast. And be sure to check out the Old Man Orange comic book Pizza Boys on both Amazon and Comixology. Till then, we'll see you some other time.